It's Effie from the internet, from wrestling, and you are watching Cole TV.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we cover everything that happened in the world of pro wrestling in 60 minutes or 60-ish minutes. Of course, love it. Already starting off with technical difficulties with already a delay here, but you know what? Thank God that we have got an overlay here tonight. I'm XLJ the OG, by the way, joined by my partner, crime brother, another mother. He's from somewhere. Speak, Mr. B-Roll.
Yes. Tyrese Halliburton just made another basket. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
How y'all Knicks fans feeling, huh? Not so big now, are you?
Yeah.
Go Pacers.
We're here to talk about the Pacers, right? And man, what a game.
I can
What a
talk
game.
about the Pacers all day, but we are talking wrestling,
Oh.
as we always do here weekly on Pro Wrestling 60. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Despite the technical difficulties, I am doing well.
We do apologize if we go in and out for some reason. We're having some Wi-Fi issues, but nonetheless, we are committed to bringing you this show every week, regardless of what's going on. So, because we love you all. That being said, I think it's time for you to deliver that sweet, sweet line so we can get right into things.
Yes, delivering that sweet chin.
Unless you want to talk about more Pacers.
Oh, I could go on and on, but you know what? We got a big game tomorrow. Let's go. Eastern Conference
one
Finals.
of these, baby.
But that's not what we're here for tonight. And I say the clock starts now.
All right. And our top story this week, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament continues on in the WWE as we just finished up with the second round, and we now know what the semifinal matchups will be on both the SmackDown and Raw side of things. So, little surprises, perhaps. I don't know. What did you think of the second round overall? Were you surprised with who won? Were you kind of like, okay, this makes sense? Feel positive about the final four in each of these tournaments?
Okay. I feel that's the best way to describe it. I feel positive with the final four in each of these matchups. It's maybe not what I thought it was going to be, but I
agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Well, let's get right into it. First, let's talk about on the Raw side of things. In the quarterfinals, we did see in the Queen of the Ring tournament, Io Shirai did advance, or I'm sorry, Io Sky did advance against, she'll always be Io Shirai to me, against Shayna Baszler. And then also we got to see, how about Lia Valkyrie defeating Zoe Stark, advancing to the final four, like gets her call up, man, and already out of the gate, man, she is already in the quarterfinals, or now in the semifinals, I should say, and is one win away from advancing to the finals of the Queen of the Ring. But man, oh man, she's got a tall task against her, as she's going to have to go against the former WWE Women's Champion Io Sky. It's going to be a tough one. Do you think Lia Valkyrie can spread her wings and fly high and advance to the finals, or is this all Io?
Let's see. You're saying spread her wings and fly high. Io is the queen of the sky.
I know, conflictions here. What do we do?
I think Lyra wins. I think Lyra wins.
Oh wow, okay. I think it's Io, but I would love it if it what a huge push for her if she could get to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament, man, and win on the Raw side of things. That would be awesome. So fingers crossed, but we'll
I'm
find out here within the next couple hours on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking, and really it is a 50-50 coin flip, but like, you know what? If Io wins it, yeah, it helps her, but it doesn't help her that much. But if Lyra wins it, it helps her a ton on the main roster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So be interesting to see. Now, over on the men's side of things on Monday Night Raw, we saw Gunther advance against one Kofi Kingston as he dominated his matchup. And then main event, Jey Uso, the alternate, which is crazy to think he was an alternate, but well, maybe not an alternate, a replacement, whatever you want to call him. Did advance against Ilya Dragunov. Unfortunately, doesn't look like we're going to get that Dragunov Gunther matchup we were hoping for, but I'm sure in due time we will. But Jey Uso is one win away from advancing to the finals. But man, oh man, he's got a tall task, literally, against the Ring General. I mean, we talked about it from the day one. I love Jey, but Gunther's winning tonight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if he did advance, I would be shocked. I mean, that'd be great for Jey, but I just there's no way Gunther's not winning this thing. I just
no way.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a surefire bet than the Minnesota Timberwolves coming back on the Denver Nuggets. How crazy was that? Anyways, that's basketball.
Look at all of our basketball references.
Hey, playoffs is fun this year. But anyways, I digress. Let's get back into this King and Queen of the Ring. Over on the SmackDown side of things, kind of some surprises here, I think. A little bit more surprises. First off, you got Bianca Belair did defeat Tiffany Stratton to advance to the semifinals, where it seemed like maybe she'd be meeting her partner, but no, Jade Cargill suffered her first loss to Nia Jax. Now, granted, it was by disqualification because Jade went a little cray-cray, but I would too, especially if Nia's, talking smack to my daughter. But I think positive and good, clean way to like keep, Jade still like dominant, and yet, it worked out. It was a classic Dusty finish. And then on the men's side of things, I think maybe the biggest surprise of the tournament, one Tama Tonga defeated LA Knight to advance to the semifinals, and where he will meet one Randy Orton as he defeated Carmelo Hayes in a tremendous matchup. So now we have Randy Orton and Tama Tonga with a shot to go to the King of the Ring finals in Saudi, as well as we've got Bianca against Nia Jax. Let's start with the women first. Who's going to win on the SmackDown side of things? Do you think Bianca advances, or do you think it's Nia?
Well, I mean, considering that both our picks from last week have been eliminated.
Yes, this is true.
Gosh, Bianca, I guess.
I think Bianca will advance. I think it'll be a fun one with Bianca and Io in the final, kind of rekindling their rivalry. And I mean, they always had tremendous matches together. So I think that's what it's going to be. Now, the men's side, though, Randy Orton and Tama Tonga. Can Tama Tonga continue this run with the Bloodline's help? Or do you think the Apex Predator is going to ascend and get to the finals of the King of the Ring? Which I believe would be his first finals of the King of the Ring ever, too, by the way. I think it's the Viper. I think Randy Orton wins this one, in my opinion.
I was sold on Tama Tonga up until you said that this would be Randy's first King of the Ring. And I'm just like, you know what? Because you don't know how much longer Randy's got, so why not go ahead and give him that accolade? So yeah.
Plus,
with the Viper.
Let me throw this at you. If that happens, B-roll, I want you to hear this. Your finals of the men's King of the Ring tournament is Randy Orton against Gunther. Holy shit. Goosebumps thinking about that. That's a crazy
Yeah.
ass match. Like a match I never thought of. I didn't realize I needed in my life, but I think I do. So, nonetheless, we're gonna find out this week, and of course, like the big advantage is going to be to the winners tonight because they're going to have to wait several days to figure out who they meet in the finals. And of course, that SmackDown, I believe, does emanate from Saudi Arabia too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the King of the Ring tournament this week as we go into this weekend. The King and Queen of the Ring from Saudi Arabia. And as a reminder, too, don't forget that also we're going to see. Well, actually, let's talk about Raw and SmackDown before we get into that. Let's talk about the rest of Monday Night Raw. First off, I love this and pop for this. Lillian Garcia making an appearance in the WWE, and she got to do ring announcing for the Kofi Kingston Gunther matchup, which always great to see Lillian. That was awesome. Both Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed kind of taking it to Alpha Academy there, man. And Master Gable not pleased. As of course Otis lost to Sami Zayn, and then I mean Bronson Reed beat the crap out to Sawa. But I mean, come on, man, that ain't even a fair fight. You kidding me? You kidding me? We also had a number one contenders 4-way matchup for the tag team titles. That Judgment Day did win, so it looks like Judgment Day will be getting a rematch. Now, this is Finn Balor and JD McDonough of Judgment Day, which I think is an interesting tandem too, because I mean, there's some history with those guys. You know, who knows? They may go on to win the tag team championship. So, Awesome Truth better watch out. But nonetheless, Monday Night Raw, exciting as always, especially with the King of the Ring tournament. But let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown. And this was the big thing I wanted to get into going into like King and Queen of the Ring. The contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. What appeared to be a title for title match is now apparently just for the WWE Championship. I feel like insert your meme surprise right here. Like it was gonna be weird if like Cody won the US title, so now it just saves Paul and it makes him look like the chicken shit champion that he is. Even though we love Logan Paul, but I mean that's the role he's playing, folks, is that. So it makes perfect sense. So all right, let me ask you this. Are you excited for Cody and Logan Paul, or are you just kind of like, whatever?
I'm kind of whatever. But you know what? Since I am whatever, that match is going to over deliver for me. So there you go.
That I'm so glad you said that, because that's the exact way I look at it too. It's like it's kind of like going into it, I don't really give a shit, but I think because of that, it's going to make it all the more of an enjoyable experience, as that is your main event at the King and Queen of the Ring, as well as the finals. We do know Becky Lynch will be defending her women's championship against Liv Morgan. It's part of that Liv Revenge tour as well. And the Intercontinental title's on the line in a 3-way matchup. Man, this weekend's going to be huge for pro wrestling, because we've got that. We have got your Double or Nothing, which we're going to talk about that here in a little bit as well. But it is going to be a loaded weekend. Memorial Day weekend. Just can't think of a better thing to do this holiday than sit back and relax and watch some pro wrestling. Now, something else we got to talk about here that's been going on in the WWE is the more and more of these QR codes popping up for what appears to be Uncle Howdy, maybe the Wyatt Six. But this is exciting news, folks. For the first time, we have, I mean, we pulled some strings for this too, but we actually have an exclusive new footage for the QR code of what you will be seeing a little bit more of later tonight. Matter of fact, let's just stop talking about it. Let's get right into it. This exclusive QR code footage here exclusively. You're only going to see it here on Pro Wrestling 60, PW60. Are you ready for this B-roll? You better hold on to something, because this is.
I'm ready. I'm.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get right into it.
He is not going to email you. As soon as your cats are shaven, you will know if he's the one. I've been going to church nonstop for 17 years, and I'm still not sure whether or not she is my cousin. The mold on top of the pudding tastes better than the actual pudding. I remember when Eric Bischoff was a little girl. I put him in pigtails, and we played with Silly Putty. But later on we found out it was not Silly Putty, but it was in fact my younger brother. Yeet. What are you looking at, Beesh? Shania Twain. Two wrongs don't make a right, but it does make a Hulk Hogan. Some people think I trimmed my beard, but really I ate it. This has been a pen this whole time? I thought it was vaping.
What did we just see?
I don't even know. I'll say this. It's always a bad idea to take a drink during a Best Scout segment.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the latest QR code, exclusive here to PW60, and I'm sure there'll be some more of that here in the near future. Foreshadowing. Well, hey, let's talk about AEW and Dynamite this past Wednesday night. Pretty loaded show, man. Pretty loaded show. Got to talk about right off the bat. Great seeing Jeff Cobb in action, man. I always love seeing. Of course, by the way, he's your New Japan Television Champion too, which was interesting because you had the Television Champion and the World Champion, the IWGP World Champion, opening up Dynamite in a tag match. How crazy is that? But nonetheless, also we got to see the contract signing between one Mercedes Moné and our girl Willow Nightingale, which Willow looks strong. I'm happy to see, but I still believe the inevitable is going to happen. But and I do like how Mercedes are trying to. I think they're now flipping her, I guess, to being. I don't know. I say it like that. It's like I really don't give a shit. I'm just not that invested in a Mercedes Moné. I can't lie, folks. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, how do you kind of have a similar feelings on that? I thought too with the whole Mercedes Moné deal.
Yeah, I mean, I do, but unlike you, I have confidence in Willow. I think Willow's gonna pull it off.
I hope you're right, sir.
I think Willow's gonna go to extreme measures.
If that's what she's got to do, then that's what she's got to do. And by the way, that match being dubbed as part of the triple main event of Double or Nothing too, which we're gonna get into momentarily.
I also have a weird feeling, for some reason, that Chris Statlander's going to turn on Willow.
That would make me sad, but I could see that happening. I could see it happen. We also saw the EVPs in action, the Young Bucks, as they took on Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, and it appears like Christopher Daniels is gone now from AEW as the Matthew and Nicholas Jackson fired Christopher Daniels on the air. Wah, wah, wah. But what really makes me sad about it is how the crowd went mild. They're like, I love Christopher Daniels. I do. But it was kind of like the crowd was kind of just like, who? And I don't mean that as any disrespect to Christopher Daniels. It's just out of sight, out of mind. I mean, he's not been on Dynamite. I mean, I think he's been featured on Rampage and like Ring of Honor, but outside of like the true real diehards, who's actually seeing that, you know what I mean? So that's why people just tune into our show so they can get the results for that. So just saying. You're welcome. Also, Swerve was in action against Brian Cage, and it looks like he's finished doing the task, so to speak, with the Mogul Embassy. But man, oh man, what about Christian Cage coming out, man? Them just bloodying and beating the hell out of Swerve. It's going to be an intense matchup at Double or Nothing, my friend. Also, kudos to Harley Cameron, man. She had a fun matchup with Tony Storm. And, of course, in your main event, Kazuchika Okada against Dax Harwood for the Continental title. But this was the biggest thing, I think, coming out of this. How in the fuck is Darby Allin walking? This man broke his foot a couple months ago. This man was hit by a bus. And now this crazy son of a bitch is going to compete in the Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah, I mean, not just a match.
I'm speechless. Like, how is he fucking doing this?
I mean, I guess by logic, if you get hit by a bus with a broken foot, I mean, a wrestling match is nothing compared to that. Like,
I guess.
Like it can't get worse. YOLO or
I don't know. If this young man's still walking like when he's in his mid-30s, I'm going to be impressed. Listen to me. Like, I'm such an old fucker. This young man.
Hey,
but
you know what it is? You know what it is?
What?
He's Wolverine. That's what it is.
Is that right? So, well, nonetheless, Darby Allin is going to be replacing Eddie Kingston, who we did find out officially did break his leg, so he will be out of action for a period of time.
Don't spoil the rest of the show.
We'll have some more information on that here later on. So. But nonetheless,
try to be professional.
Dynamite, solid show. Speaking of AEW television this week, let's talk about Saturday Night Collision, which we had to catch a replay because you and I were a little busy Saturday night. We'll talk about that here in a moment. I thought Collision was decent. Like, I don't like other than the opening matchup, nothing really kind of like. I was excited to see Jack Cartwheel on AEW TV. I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, Tony Storm did kind of do like she got naked. You know, with the taunt there with the Serena Deep flag, which I don't really know what that accomplished, if anything, but I'm not complaining. We also got to see Orange Cassidy in action against one Isaiah Cassidy. Hook went on one-on-one with Johnny TV as part of the FTW. What the fuck are we calling this? Qualifier, eliminators? I don't know. I lose track of this shit. But of course, Shibata went against Rocky Romero, and Brian Keith was in action as well. So they're going to meet in a three-way this coming Wednesday on Dynamite to determine who will meet Chris Jericho's challenger at Double or Nothing. But definitely the match of the night by far was a clash of styles, and this was just like, I didn't ever think about this matchup, but like, and on paper it's like, oh, okay, but man, oh man, these guys delivered. And once again, yes, Will Ospreay is one of our matches of the weeks. That Will Ospreay Shane Taylor match was bananas. What'd you think of that matchup, man? There was some crazy stuff they did in that. Like, I did Shane Taylor, what he was doing in there too was like, just blew my mind.
Yeah, it was great. Like, and I mean, the spot that blew my mind was when Ospreay gets him up for that Stormbreaker. Like,
how are you doing this, bro?
Like,
yeah.
Man, like we need to start a tally of how many matches of the week Ospreay gets.
And I promise you, folks, Meltzer has nothing to do with this show. Matter of fact, he can go fuck right off. Their PW60s and Cole Teams' official stance on Meltzer is that he can fuck off. Anyways, I digress. Hey, let's talk about Rampage. So Rampage, once again, following Collision due to the NBA playoffs. You had Kyle O'Reilly go up against Lee Moriarty. Roosh was in action, as well as Deonna Purrazzo going up against Robin Renegade. And you got to see Anthony Bowens in a one-on-one matchup against Brian Cage. I will say this. I don't know. To me, and maybe it's because I wasn't watching it live, but I felt like this week's like Collision and Rampage was kind of off. Like it wasn't bad, but compared to what it's been the past couple weeks, I just felt like it was kind of, as one MJF would say, mid. Not a bad show, but just kind of like but as we're getting closer and closer to Double or Nothing, and speaking of which, let's talk about it. Double or Nothing is this weekend, this Sunday night, coming to you from the MGM Grand, which I am so happy. Back where it all started for AEW, and there's a huge triple main event. As we know, Swerve Strickland will be defending his world championship against one Christian Cage. The TNT title is on the line with Willow Nightingale defending against Mercedes Moné. And Anarchy in the Arena is back, as the Elite will now face the team AEW, consisting of FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin. But that's not all. Also, we're going to see Toni Storm defend her women's championship against one Serena Deeb. The international title is on the line, as Roderick Strong has got his hands full against one Will Ospreay. And some additions this week, too. The one I'm excited the most for, the match I think is going to be match of the night, the one that I want to see the most on this card out of everything, that TNT title in a barbed wire steel cage. One Adam Copeland putting it all up against one Malachi Black. Holy shit, that is going to be a match I think we're talking about years to come, man. That's a dream match of both those guys.
I think it opens the show.
I think it opens the show. I think so too.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And it's going to be a bloody massacre. It's going to be an amazing, amazing matchup. Also, we did find out Orange Cassidy will be going one-on-one against Trent Beretta in a singles wrestling match. And okay, I'm going to pull my my card here where I got a little bit of a gripe.
Uh-oh.
We've got Takeshita against Jon Moxley in an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship eliminator match. Can we stop with this fucking shit? This eliminator shit. I fucking don't like the name. And this, I'm about to go on a rant here, by the way, too. Don't like the fucking name. I think it's stupid. I think the concept is kind of overplayed. But here's my biggest gripe with this B-roll in this case. It's for the IWGP Championship. Takeshita doesn't even fucking compete in fucking New Japan. We have all these other guys over in New Japan that should be getting title shots or whatever. But I get why we're doing it, I guess. But what the fuck? It's going to be a great matchup, don't get me wrong, but like an eliminator matchup for a guy who doesn't even fucking compete in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And what the fuck does New Japan even know they're calling it this shit? Like, I don't know. Maybe, am I getting overworked here? Am I taking it to me, it bothers me. I don't like it. I don't like the fucking eliminator thing. I
guess I kind of missed, because this got announced not even on the show, just like on social media. It wasn't even announced on the show.
It's like I say, I probably sound like a fickle, spoiled pro wrestling fan. And you know what? I am a spoiled pro wrestling fan with all the amazing pro wrestling that's going on. And this weekend, it's going to be amazing. But I don't like this eliminator shit. I don't like it when somebody who doesn't even work for the fucking company is getting a title shot. For God's sakes, if anything, his home promotion back home is DDT Pro. It's not fucking New Japan. Come on, man. Why the fuck isn't Naito getting his rematch, huh? I guess maybe we're saving that for Dominion.
Or for Venador, or I don't know. Like,
maybe, I don't know.
I would say the part that grinds my gears is that the fact is it's an eliminator match on a pay-per-view.
It's just like, we got to do away with this. I'm sorry. Let's do a tournament, do a battle royal, what happened to your fucking ranking system? And guess what? Your ranking system don't fucking apply here, because this is New Japan Pro Wrestling. This isn't fucking AEW. Don't get me started. I'm sorry. Don't, like, once again, I love AEW. I'm not trying to like shit on them or anything, but like their as an AEW diehard, there is some shit that they're doing right now that just is like, what the fuck? And
Well,
I just
Okay,
I
let
don't know.
me ask you this: if it wasn't an eliminator match and the title was on the line, would you be as mad?
I would be mad from a different perspective. I would be mad from the perspective of like, why the fuck is he getting a title shot? Because he's nothing to do with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
That would be and let me throw this at you too. I probably would be less pissed about this if, let's say, we brought over a Yodo Suchi and was in this matchup to determine if he gets a title shot against Moxley. Somebody that's active on the fucking New Japan roster, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's gonna be a great matchup, but it's just I'm cool with Mox and all, like, and I think it was a good thing at the time, but we need to get I don't know. I'm so conflicted. I know we got a lot going on in New Japan coming up. The G1's gonna be coming up real soon. I don't know. I'm scratching my head on this
Juniors. That's the Super Juniors happening right now. Before we get off of this, I do want to say one thing real quick, because you made a comment of that sparked something with me. It's kind of how I've been feeling about AEW lately. Maybe it's a hot take, maybe it's not. Here's how I feel where they're at right now. I keep waiting for them to put their foot on the gas pedal, and
they don't.
Not budget.
You have a champion in Swerve, and they could do it. Do you feel like they've really done anything with Swerve so far as the champion?
I mean, I like this feud with Christian.
I like
so
this
far,
program. I do, but I don't know. Once again, we're spoiled, rotten wrestling fans. Probably, it is what it is. I mean, let them cook, right? Let them cook. So, but I don't know. Like the eliminator thing. Don't get me started. Oh man, I think I need a timeout or something. But
yeah,
you know what? You know what I really need? Because it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
A Tums.
Well, I may need a Tums after this spicy take. Let's go to our boy Spicy Guac, who's back with a spicy take.
I feel alive.
All right. Well, it's great to have you back, Spicy. I know been super busy. I know that man has been killing it on the indies. One Gustavo, as well as with his music and just everything Spicy does. We love Spicy. So
hey,
it's great to
and
see.
The man knows how to enjoy a Baja Blast, so there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't see how he does that. Like Chugs, I don't know. I wish I had that gift, man. So, well, hey, let's talk about NXT from this past Tuesday night. Solid show once again. NXT, it's the place to be, baby. I got to see Lash Legend in action as she defeated Ivy Nile to advance to the first ever NXT North American Women's Championship ladder match. Sol Ruco also advancing. Which that match is going to be amazing, dude. I can't not wait for that. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What's the next one called again? I keep wanting to go back to takeovers or breakdown, or they're calling it something at the UFC Center. Whatever it is.
Is it Battleground?
Battleground, that's it. I knew it used to be like a former pay-per-view name, so but that's gonna be an exciting matchup, I think. Let's also talk about like that main event, man. Tony D'Angelo, Charlie Dempsey for the NXT Heritage Cup. And by the way, we got a new NXT Heritage Cup champion as one Tony D'Angelo did defeat Charlie Dempsey and is now your Heritage Cup champion. Of course, he's our wrestler of the week this week on PW60, which is such an accomplishment. But at the end of the show, though, what about like Gallus showing up and just beating the piss out of everybody? Which I am ready for a Gallus push, man. I've loved watching those guys all the way back in the ICW days, Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers, man. I'm ready to see them just go banana and just destroy the NXT roster. Let me ask you, how you feel about Gallus? Do you like Gallus? You kind of like, eh?
Yeah, I've always liked Gallus. But yeah, I mean, coming in, wrecking shop and kicking butt and taking names, I like it.
Yep.
I have a question for you, sir. Do you understand the rules of the Heritage Cup yet?
I refuse to. So I mean, I gotta say this. Let me say this on Tony D'Angelo. He was okay in my eyes until I actually saw him in person at NXT Stand and Deliver, where I think was that what we're calling it? I get these damn NXT names fucking confused. The one in Philly. Anyways, that matchup he had against Ilya Dragunov was insane, dude. And I mean, I think he's a hell of a wrestler. He really is. I'm still not completely sold on the gimmick. It's not. He does a great job. It's just not for me, honestly. But yeah, I think Tony D'Angelo is an amazing performer. So kudos to him. But I'm never gonna understand the Heritage Cup. I never will. I ain't got time for that. We got too much other wrestling going on. B-roll.
Well, I've got one more take before we move away.
One more take. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I told you this over the weekend. I believe the NXT women's division is the best women's division in wrestling right now.
I think it is. I think you're right, man. I mean, they're killing it now, bringing in this North American Championship. And the thing is, they got gutted in the draft, and they still have a ton of viable options to challenge for the NXT Women's Championship, as well as like this new singles championship. They've got the tag team titles. I mean, it's just, dude, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. Well, like I say, it was a busy week in the world of pro wrestling. Let's talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. As you mentioned before, the Best of the Super Juniors tournament is happening currently right now, as we've got some incredible action that has already occurred in A and B blocks. I got
2 words for you. Cousin Blake, what?
Well, right? Cousin Blake is killing it in this tournament, man. So Blake Christian was undefeated in this tournament. Now, he did just suffer his first loss to Desperado, but guess what? He is still leading in the A block, man. So he is actually up at 8 points. He's 4-1 in the tournament so far. Over there in the A block, following him is Titan with 6 points, along with Kevin Knight, El Desperado. And then at 4 points, you got Koji Fujita, Clark Connors, and Hayata, as well as Kanamura and Bushi. And then rounding out the end of it, a little surprising here, TJP's only got 2 points in A block, but still plenty of tournament to go. Now, over on the B block side of things, you have Kushida, who is in the lead with 8 points, as he is 4-1 in the tournament so far. Then following him at 6 points, you have Taiji Ishimori and Hiromi Takahashi with both 6 points, as well as Robbie Eagles and Drilla Maloney with 6 points, and Doki at 6, which I think Doki's going to win B block. I don't know. I think it's Doki's time, damn it. Also, you have Sho with 4 points, Ninja Mac with 4 points, as well as Francisco Akira. And Dragon Dia has not gotten on the board yet, as he has 0 points. But that is an update on the New Japan Super Juniors tournament. You know what would be dope, man? I would personally, it's not going to happen, but I think a Blake Christian Ninja Mac final would be awesome. It's not going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cousin Blake maybe gets to the finals. Probably not going to happen, but I seriously, I think Doki's winning this. I mean, he's long overdue. It's okay. He's going to win it.
There's something we have to think about when they I think it's got announced this week. the finals of this is going to main event Dominion.
So that's news I didn't even know. So really, so the finals is going to be the main event at Dominion.
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting. You know what's fascinating to me about that? I mean, Dominion typically has been like I would dare I say the SummerSlam of New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know, whereas your Wrestle Kingdom's your big show. So a little surprising, but I respect that. So that makes me, yeah, you're definitely right. As much as I love Cousin Blake, he's not going to be in the main event. That's interesting. That's interesting. I think it's going to be Desperado and Doki. That's what I think it's going to be. So, nonetheless, always, if you never get a chance, definitely go subscribe to New Japan World. Check out the Best of Super Juniors tournament. It's an amazing tournament each and every year they do it. Well, want to talk about what happened this past week on TNA Impact, which is just so much wrestling we cover on here. We talk about TNA all the time, but often it gets lost in the shuffle, even with us. So we're going to try to do a better job talking to you about Impact Wrestling here each and every week. So first off, let's talk about the main event of this show was Bananas. I keep saying bananas a lot tonight. Maybe I need some potassium in my life. Anyways, it was the Champions Challenge, which is just this crazy multi-person tag match. Essentially, you had all of the TNA champions on one side of things and all of their current set of challengers on one side. So, of course, you had the your favorite team, of course, one Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, along with Moose, along with B-roll. You also had Laredo Kid, Mustafa Ali on one side of things, and of course Masha Slamovich and Alicia Edwards. But they were going up against a unique group consisting of Matt Hardy, Steph DeLander, Sami Callihan. Of course, you had Ryan Nemeth. You had oh my gosh, I can't think of the girls' tag team. That's terrible. Jody
Threat and Luna. Is it Luna?
Yes. And of course, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. But yes, crazy matchup, man. This matchup, of course, Mustafa Ali ended up walking out of the matchup because, well, nobody tagged him in. And I mean, that is disrespectful. The greatness of Mustafa Ali. You shouldn't have to be like worrying about getting tagged in the match. Come on, man. Come on. Also, I want to talk about Ash by Elegance, as she did defeat Saya Brookside. But my goodness, what happened there at the end where she took that brutal punch with the knuckle duster from her? We just hope and pray that Ash by Elegance is okay. But yeah. Also, Leon Slater defeating Alan Angels. Which, by the way, man, Leon Slater is killing it over in TNA right now, too. It's great to see him. They signed him. He's a tremendous talent. If you've never seen him, you got to check him out. And then also we've got this ongoing rivalry with the Rascals and Wonder Bread himself. So, yeah, fun times over on TNA. With that being said, you and I had the privilege of getting to actually be in the... Are you okay, buddy?
Yeah, that Wonder Bread got me.
Yes. Well, we got the privilege this past Saturday night of being in the Impact Zone as TNA was filming some of their tapings there in beautiful Newport, Kentucky. And be on a lookout here in the very near future for a vlog coming out here exclusively to Cold TV from our fun time there Saturday night. But you know what? We're going to tease you a little bit. We got a little sneak peek of our time here at Impact this past weekend. Check this out. We're here in beautiful Newport, Kentucky, and as you can see, we're here for TNA Wrestling and for some Impact tapings. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my God! Yeah, it was an awesome time there, and I just gotta say this: be on the lookout for whenever they air Trent Seven and Speedball Mike Bailey. That is like a contender for match of the year. Holy shit!
I
Which
think I saw
maybe
something.
here Thursday.
I think it's this week.
Yeah, I think it's this week. So seriously, tune in however you can to TNA Wrestling this week to Impact, as that matchup between Speedball and Trent Seven is insane. So it's an awesome time we had this weekend. But man, there's just so much wrestling going on. We say it all the time, but also MLW's Fury Road took place this past week as well. And we got to see a lot of stuff going in as we're going into the big Battle Riot show coming up here in the next month or so. First off, we got to see our good, close personal friend, Mr. Alex Kane, in action as he just annihilated who was it? A Game, I believe it was. It was like a 30-second match or something, man. I was like, come on. And we did find out that he will be going, it appears, one-on-one at Battle Riot against one. Do I gotta say his name, B-roll? I don't want to talk about this guy. Big, tall, goofy fucker. I said what I said. AJ Francis. We going up against our boy, and our boy is gonna whip that ass. You can best believe that. Also, there was a really fun Falls Count Anywhere matchup between Matthew Justice and Kruger. Sammy Callahan and Matt Riddle. It was a pretty fun matchup until it ended in a double count out, but you know. And then Janai Kai, once again, man, putting on a clinic as she defended her championship in a 4-way matchup. And Kojima did retain his MLW World Heavyweight Championship against one called Manders. And then just at the end, it was just chaotic with everybody coming out, battling each other literally before Battle Riot. So I can't wait for Battle Riot, man. That's always a fun show. So, but MLW, man, solid, fun time. If you don't watch MLW, I know there's so much wrestling to watch, but seriously, give MLW a watch, man. Especially when Alex Kane's on. That's when it's good, and he should still be the champion. I'm sorry, I said what I said. GCW took place this week as well, with some impressive and fun shows, as their most notorious show took place this Saturday night, and the Sunday night special took place on Sunday. And I gotta say, I watched both of them, and Sunday night special was really cool just for the concept of it, just these mystery matches. You just don't know what the hell you're gonna get, and they put together some fun, unique matches. Most Notorious was an awesome show too. I love the Joey Janela Megan Bayne matchup. I don't like how it ended, but I love the matchup nonetheless. Of course, we got to see Silo Fatu in action against Jimmy Lloyd, and then Manser was in action as well. And Nick Gage Tony Deppen was a fucking awesome match, dude. Like those two guys together, they that needs to happen more often. I thought that was a really solid match, and of course, building up for the big Tournament of Survival and Cage of Death, because that is coming up in tournament. If you've never seen a Tournament of Survival tournament, oh my gosh, make sure you have your safety goggles on, because there is some violent shit that happens in this one. But Cage of Death is coming up that weekend as well from the Showboat there in Atlantic City. And I cannot wait for this matchup, because it's going to be Effie and Mance Warner in a Cage of Survival matchup. I've said it on this show before. I think the Effie Mance Warner match is clearly the rivalry of the year in pro wrestling. And it's just gotten so intense. There's got to be an end to this. I get vibes, like, as an old school wrestling fan with this B-roll, of like Tully Blanchard going against Magnum TA at Starrcade 85, man. And I think the brutality is going to be there, and then some. This Cage of Survival coming up in a couple weeks is going to be insane, man. If you don't already have a subscription to Triller, you're nuts not for getting one. I mean, it's only like $8 a month, and you get these two shows. It's going to be a crazy weekend, and they're going to be in Chicago. GCW's in Chicago this upcoming Friday as well. And remember, the stip going into this is that Effie cannot put hands on Mance Warner, and we do know Mance has got a matchup against our good close personal friend, the Ratty Daddy himself, Cole Radrick, this upcoming Friday. So it's going to be awesome times. And there's so much cool stuff going on in the indie scene. Thank God we have our good, good friend, Michael J. Duplessis, who can fill us all in. So let's go to him right now with an indie report of all the shows you should be checking out right now.
Wrestling event report. All right, first we have Hot Pro Wrestling down in Austin, Texas presents Tainted Glory. Bell time is at 6 p.m. This is Sunday, June 16th. 2015 East Riverside Drive, Building 4. HotProWrestling.com to get your tickets. Secondly, Rad Pro Wrestling presents Longshot, Saturday, June 22nd, 11 High Street, Amesbury, Massachusetts. Rad Pro Wrestling, that is RASLING.com for tickets. And thirdly, we have an event I'm actually going to be at, Oblivion Wrestling, Saturday, May 25th, at the Thurston County Fairgrounds, 3054 Carpenter Road, Lacey, Washington. Doors open at 6 p.m., bell time at 7 p.m. General admission is $20. If you see this and you're in the Thurston County area and you're going to that event, and if you see me, come say hi. But yes, that is Oblivion Wrestling, Saturday, May 25th. Y'all have a good day.
Alrighty, thank you, Michael. Some awesome shows, and hey, like you say, if you're in that area, come say hi to Mike, man. He's a pretty cool guy, if I do say so myself. We love you, Mike. Well, we talked about this earlier. We got some injury bugs that's plaguing the world of pro wrestling right now. We did talk about Eddie Kingston earlier, and yes, he does have a broken leg, so it looks like he is going to be out for an extended period of time. So we hope he is going to heal up and do well and get back in the ring very soon. Also, Powerhouse Hobbs had that really nasty knee injury. It does appear that he has had some surgery done, so he does look like he will be out for an extended period of time as well. So we wish him well. Now, we just found out Athena got injured this past week at the Ring of Honor tapings too, so we still don't know exactly the extent of that injury. But a big one here, apparently Ifar has been hurt, and Ifar even went on to say like this is a pretty serious injury.
Yeah, I think they said he was out, essentially like out indefinitely.
Definitely, yeah. So I hope and pray like his career's not done, because God, Ivar is so freaking good in the ring, and I think they were finally kind of start to use him a little bit more in a great utility role. But I don't know, man. Like, you hate to see anybody get injured, but it's sad to hear that all four of these like lovable wrestlers are out. Well, we here at PW60, we wish them well, and we hope we get to see them in the ring real soon. Okay, fuck, we got to talk about this. So a lot of you know, of course, the IWC up in flames about this, and I get it. So Tiffany Stratton on her social media posted a video of her with Bianca Belair, and the soundbite she used, it was like a head scratcher of why the fuck are you doing that? I hate to see shit like this, because I do think Tiffany is a talented wrestler. I don't know if she's got somebody that does her social media or not, if it's all her. Nonetheless, a mistake was made. I do think she should have come out with a statement, honestly. But it was just kind of like, all right, let's just delete the video and pretend nothing ever happened. I mean, you just can't do shit like that. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's hard for us to comment because we don't know Tiffany Stratton personally. Obviously, we just know a character on television. But yeah, it's just come on, man. Like, just like why the fuck would you? Why would you be that stupid to post something like that? It's like, do better. Come on, man. I mean, we all have our moments, and I'm not trying to make excuses for her, but it's just I don't know. It's just that this was dumb, really dumb, and I'll just leave it at that. It even pisses Reggie off.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it. You said it best. I'd say above all, just don't be a dick and just be a good person, and you'll do okay in life.
Yep. There you go. True words cannot be said, my friend. Well, it does look like one Cash Wheeler is getting off. Like, of the prosecution just dropped the assault charges on Cash Wheeler from that incident from last year with the being pulled over with the firearm and whatnot. So looks like he can finally put that behind him. So good there. Hopefully that's an isolated incident. No crazy shit like that happens again. But such is life, right? Also, this week it was announced that John Cena, who you can see here, I don't see him.
I think they did that. I feel like they did that on purpose.
I think so too. Well, John Cena is going to be hosting the Discovery Channel Shark Week, which is always huge every year. So that's going to be cool to see. And then what about this? Johnny Knoxville crashed Sami Zayn doing like a comedy set. Then they ended up having more of a Twitter beef. Is Johnny Knoxville trying to work his way into getting an IC title match? Maybe at SummerSlam or something, you think? I don't think so. I think it's just like, I think they're just like continuing on with this. I don't think it's going anywhere, but I don't know. But you never know in the world of pro wrestling. Just random.
I mean,
speaking of random, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, Wee Man did kind of take out Sami Zayn, so maybe it's Wee Man's turn to get a title shot.
Yeah, it's just kind of random how that just happens. And speaking of random, I still said save the segue, damn it. Let's go to Brian with Brian's random moment of the week.
It's not there, but just imagine it is with Brian's House and Random logo on it, and get familiar with it and follow myself on YouTube and all the other content creators here for the PWS60 family. Ding! Yeah! Notification is like bing, because I had a thought. See, segue. Woo! Like the thing you ride, but not quite. All right, so for the random moment of this week, a lot of times I like to look back at the history of wrestling and look back at things a few years ago, many years ago, all in between, sometimes today, whatever. I kind of like the Iron Sheik, but I didn't say it as good as him. So obviously right now we have the King and the Queen of the Ring going on in WWE right now as we're getting closer, got the semifinals lined up. So a thought just before recording this video, and I'm going to do a format I do on TikTok when I do the wrestling questions, and that's going to be the top 5 format. So here's what I want you to do. Comment below with your answers. I want to know who are your choice, not according to WWE.com or Dave Meltzer or anybody like that, but according to you, who are the top 5 King of the Ring winners in WWE history? And if you want to explain a little bit in the comments why they are number 1 and number 3, 5, whatever, go for it. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Enjoy the rest of PW60 and have yourself a great, fantastic week as we keep going closer to the finals of the King of the Ring. And if you also want to put predictions of who you think will be in the finals and win the King and Queen of the Ring for this year, go for it as well. Cool. Bye.
Oh, Brian, we love you, buddy, man. It brings some great question here, especially with the King and the Queen of the Ring on the cusp. Speaking of which, Learning the Ropes is returning this week on Cole TVs. We'll be live this Thursday, and our topic at hand is going to be King of the Ring. So there's an exclusive announcement for you there, and hopefully our Wi-Fi situation's working a lot better than it is tonight. But we thank you all for joining us with our shitty Wi-Fi. And like I say, we love Brian, but you know who else we love, B-Roll? We love our wrestling content creators, and this week our Ruby Ringside Wrestling Content Creator of the Week is one Melanie Morales 3552 from All Things Wrestling. I've checked out some of her TikToks and videos. She's got some pretty cool opinions, man. Like she is they've got, I believe she has a podcast as well. She's pretty cool, man. She's got some good thoughts on pro wrestling. And if you're not following her, you should, because Melanie Morales 3552 is our Ruby Ringside Wrestling Content Creator of the Week. Now, this just dropped over on AEW's YouTube channel. They have a new show. It's called Meal and a Match, where apparently RJ City, Renee Paquette, and a guest are going to eat a meal and watch a match. Sounds like every Friday night at my house. Am I right? Or that's like every night, really. Shit. I'm going to eat my dinner and watch Raw here when we finish up with this. But anyways, I digress. But I think it's a cool concept. I think it's neat. You know, I'll definitely watch it. So, also, the trailer for Billy Corgan's Adventures in Carneyland dropped. Okay. I don't know. It's like, it's kind of cool, but it also, I don't know. Some of these reality shows, they're just way too scripted for my taste, if I'm honest. And it's like, first of all, my big problem is this big fucking doofus that's like in here pointing at me. That's no longer with them, thank God. So go fuck yourself, Funky's on a roll. Man, I'm on one tonight, bro. I'm telling you, these Wi-Fi issues, they just piss me off. They get the blood going. But anyways, go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say, I mean, the trailer made it seem interesting at least. So, you know.
Well, there's that. And speaking of the NWA, it sounds like the NWA, or according to Billy Corgan, the NWA has signed another potential TV deal. Well, the only thing I will say is this: if that's the case, cool. Just make sure you don't put out a pay-per-view where like one of your talents simulates doing cocaine on your show. That may help. So I'm just saying. But then again, what do I know? So, oh baby, I'm on one tonight. Well, also WWE just announced that they have trademarked a new potential show called WWE Fault. I like that name. I think that's a pretty cool name. Obviously, it's going to be something about the history, the past of the WWE, I'm assuming. What do you think about this? Does this intrigue you?
I want to know what's inside the vault. That's
there you go.
What
What's in the vault? We got to know. I'm assuming this is going to be like something tied in with like A&E or something like that. Which I mean, I thoroughly enjoy all the shows that they've done on A&E so far. So add another one to the lineup. I'm here for it, man. And hey, we're going to end this week's episode on a positive note, as it does look like one Ruby Ringside Ruby Soho. See, we love you, Ruby Ringside. But I think old Dad would be like, wait a minute, it's too young for you to get married just yet. But anyways, we got Ruby Soho. Apparently, the destination is known, as she is now tied the knot with her partner, Angelo Parker, who are expecting a little one on the way. And now they are a happily married couple. I mean, this picture is awesome, man. I love John Silver, too, by the way. But kudos. We want to congratulate both Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho on their marriage, man, and I can't wait to see when the baby comes, man. It's going to be just if I can be there for a bar mitzvah, if you're doing one or whatever, I volunteer my services. Wait a minute, what's that mean? I don't know. Anyways, oh, these Wi-Fi issues, they've got me all off. Well, us, we love you all, and man, oh man, this weekend it's going to be an awesome week. Pro wrestling action with the King and Queen of the Ring, as well as Double or Nothing. Can't wait. Well, let's go wrap it up for this episode. I'm XLJ the OG, joined by Mr. B-Roll. We'll see you next week on another episode of Pro Wrestling 60. Everybody have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.